Hey everyone, how's it going? Aaron Rift here from NoDQ.com. Welcome to NoDQ's predictions video for NXT Takeover Philadelphia. I am being joined by two of the NoDQ panel guests. First, we have the greatest columnist in the history of the wrestling galaxy, Mr. Virtue's Rage. How's it going, man?
It's going good. Although I haven't written lately, but I'm doing videos, so it's still posted as a column, I guess. How's
Yeah,
it going, Aaron?
I'm doing great. It's been very busy here on the site with Raw 25 coming up. We got NXT, we got the Royal Rumble, of course. And speaking of the Royal Rumble, we just had to have our own resident Royal Rumble expert, former wrestling trivia champion, Mr. Greg Cherry. How's it going, Greg?
Not too bad. I mean, I've been on the channel like pretty much every other day this month because of the Rumble going on, but I'm excited for Takeover too.
Yes. Now, we have TakeOver coming up, of course. It seems like it's almost forgotten about because of all the hype, not just for the Royal Rumble this year with 2 Rumble matches, but also Raw 25. It feels like NXT has gotten lost in the shuffle, which is interesting because a few years ago, people were always looking forward to NXT more than the main roster pay-per-view. I did a poll on NoDQ a few days ago, which show people are most excited for of the 3 shows, and NXT came in last. So it's kind of interesting. I still think NXT is going to be a great show, but it does feel like the hype about NXT has cooled off. I don't know if it's the lack of star power or just the fact that WWE's got other big shows going on, but it just feels like there's less hype overall. But with that being said, I still expect it to be a great show. Now, we only have 4 matches announced for this card. I'm assuming there will be a 5th match, and we can speculate on that in a few minutes here. Let's go ahead and break down these matches. First up, we have the Extreme Rules match, which is between Adam Cole, baby, and Aleister Black. Now, there's been some speculation about potential NXT stars entering the Royal Rumble match. So, Virtue, let's start with you. Your thoughts on this match. Who do you think will win, and do you think we might see one or both of these guys possibly in the Royal Rumble match?
I think it's time for Aleister Black, to be honest with you, and it's weird because I really like him. And is he still undefeated, guys? I believe so, or did he technically lose in NXT? Because I missed a couple shows here and there.
He lost. He got the pinfall when Gargano pinned him in that fatal 4-way. So technically, he's not undefeated anymore.
Okay, and that's fine. He still looks very dominant, and I think he should beat Adam Cole. But I just have a feeling with Extreme Rules that Adam Cole's going to win this match. To me, Aleister Black is the prime candidate that should be in the Rumble. I mean, I remember when Rusev was in there that one year, and then he went back to NXT, and then he came back and was pushed hard. So to me, it's time for Aleister Black. Greg, what do you think?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Rusev being in the Rumble. That was the one I was at. So, funny, that's funny enough there. God bless you. So I think Aleister Black, I don't think Black will be in the Rumble. I expect this to be the match of the night, honestly, between the two of them. I expect some shenanigans from Undisputed Era, too. But I think if we're going to talk about people who will probably be in the Rumble from NXT, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curve at you and say the Velveteen Dream. I kind of think I don't believe he has a match for TakeOver, so I think throwing him in there, especially with a match that he and Black had at the last TakeOver, will be fantastic. And I think he'll get a good reaction.
I think it's more likely, too, that we might see some women in the female Royal Rumble from NXT.
Absolutely.
Guys, yeah.
I'm sure we'll cover that when we get to the women's title match. But
yep.
Yeah, I definitely think Velveteen Dream should be one of the surprises for NXT. And I think I'm going to pick Adam Cole for this match just because of...
I agree. I will also be going with Adam Cole, and I think that, like you said, there'll probably be some sort of interference or some sort of shenanigans, so Aleister Black gets screwed, and then maybe we see Aleister Black in the Royal Rumble. I could see him potentially showing up as a one-off, and then maybe after WrestleMania he debuts on the main roster full-time. Yeah. I could see that, but I think Adam Cole, since he's going to be the guy in NXT for the long haul, I think Aleister Black's next on the list of guys that will be called up. I think Adam Cole will pick up the win here. So next up we have, speaking of Adam Cole and Undisputed, we have the NXT Tag Team title match. Undisputed Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish against the Authors of Pain. Now, I sense the Authors of Pain, there are 2 more guys that will be getting called up soon. And because of that, I think we're going to see the champions retain. That's just my take on it, though. I think Undisputed's going to stay really dominant. They're going to be the dominant faction in WWE for the next 6 months to a year. Greg, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the match?
You know, I may be in the minority here, but I like the Authors of Pain. I know, like, last year they were like, oh, these guys aren't, like, technical, like, oh, they're not, like, the best wrestlers. It's like, you know what? I don't care. Like, they kick ass, and they, like, keep coming back and keep kicking ass, and I enjoy them. I especially like Paul Ellering. I have such a hard time saying his name, and I don't know why. But I enjoy him being with the Authors of Pain because he provides that presence, like that old school feel. And I really enjoy that. I agree with you, though. I think Undisputed Era, Fish and O'Reilly are going to walk out still the champions. Virtue?
Yeah, I mean, this is one where we might agree on everything here, but I really think Undisputed Era, it's going to be their night. And I do like the fact that NXT is bringing a lot of bigger guys in now, and I could see Authors of Pain stick around a little bit longer and maybe work some feuds with some of these other guys coming in. But like Raymond Rowe and, there's some guys coming into NXT. They were just at AIW here in Cleveland on Friday night. So, I'd like to see something like some guys coming out and making their debuts at this show with NXT that we haven't seen yet. And again, anything in the Undisputed Era matches would be great for that. So maybe we're going to see a little bit of that. And I'm going to stick with Fish and O'Reilly. I can't pick otherwise, man.
All right, so there you go. I like I said, I'm going with NXT's tag team champions to retain. Undisputed Era will continue their dominance. And next up, we have the women's title match, which is Ember Moon defending against Shayna Baszler. Now, this one I think we might disagree on. I'm not sure because this one I feel is hard to predict. Now, on one hand, Ember Moon just won the title a few months back at the Takeover in, where was it? I'm forgetting now. I'm already forgetting where Survivor Series was. Somebody help me. Where was Survivor Series?
San Antonio, I believe, wasn't it? It was in Texas.
Wasn't that last year? I'm talking about November. Where was Survivor Series in November? We're the trivia. You're the trivia guy, Greg.
Yeah, don't ask me.
I know. Like, I feel like it was in Texas, though. Like, I thought it was San Antonio.
Or was it Dallas?
No, wow. Dallas was before Mania 35.
Or Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
Wow. I knew it was one of those cities.
That's bad. That was just 2 months
Houston,
ago.
we have a problem. But, I mean, do we really need to remember where that was at that point? Come on.
Well, I just find it funny that Greg's the big trivia expert, and even he forgot.
He said Texas. He got a half point.
I got the state right.
Hey, we don't do half points on Wrestling Trivia Challenge. But anyways, so I'm curious about this match because I think Ember just won and shouldn't be losing it right away. But on the other hand, what's going on with Ronda Rousey? And Shayna Baszler is, of course, affiliated with Ronda. So I'm wondering if there might be something with the Four Horsewomen getting involved in this match. But my feeling is it's too soon for Baszler to win, and I think Ember Moon will retain. Ultimately, she'll stay champion. But I could go either way with this one. That's why I'm curious to see what you guys think, because I think this one could go either way, and we might have different opinions. So, Virtue, let's start with you.
Well, Shayna's a former AIW Women's Champion. I'm going to pick her to win the title here. And, maybe not just that. I think she's going to win the title, and I think she's going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble match. And why not have the NXT champion do that? I mean, Ember Moon, yes, just did win it. I don't know how many times she's defended it on the NXT show since then, but, has she defended it at all? I don't even know if they do title matches on Wednesdays anymore.
Well, they do because Fish and O'Reilly won the titles on an NXT tape.
I think, it really could go. It's a coin flip. Ember Moon's probably favored to win, Aaron, so I see where you're going with that because she just won it. If you look at going from takeover events. But I'm going to go with, I don't know how you say her last name, Baszler. I'm going to go with her. Yeah, she yells at me on Twitter for screwing her name up. I'm going with her, and I think she's going to show up in the female Royal Rumble.
All
Greg?
Right.
I half agree with you, Virtue. I think she'll win the NXT Women's title. I think it'll be Ember Moon in the Women's Royal Rumble instead, just because I feel like Ember Moon would get a bigger reaction than Baszler would, just because Baszler just debuted on the NXT Women's roster, and Ember Moon's had her time there. And as far as other women go, I think you have to have Billie Kay and Peyton Royce in there. I mean, their time to be on the main roster should have happened months ago. So I think both of them are in it.
Greg, it's contingent on Ronda Rousey, though. Could you imagine her being in the Rumble and then all of a sudden the Four Horsewomen, or not the Four Horsewomen, the other, her version of them,
the MMA
are in there? Yeah, and they all group together. That would be cool. But
I don't think they put them all in. That's why I say I think Ronda has to be like on her own before they do, if in fact she does compete on Sunday. But I think Ember Moon will be in the Rumble. I think Peyton Royce and Billie Kay will be in. And I'm going to throw a curveball. I know she just got signed, but I think Candice LeRae could be in.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I do want to bring up Candice here for the main event match, which is for the NXT title. It's Andrade Cien Almas defending against Johnny Gargano. Now, we all know that, of course, Johnny Gargano is married to Candice LeRae, and Candice just signed. So I've heard some people talk about maybe Candice could show up to counteract, what's her name, Vega? I forgot her first name.
Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
Zelina Vega.
They might bring in Candice to counteract her, so there's an even playing field. I could see that potentially happening, but I think the more likely outcome, in my opinion, is we're going to see Tommaso Ciampa make his return and cost Gargano the title. That's what I'm predicting to happen. I think Almas will retain due to outside interference from Ciampa, and then we have Ciampa and Gargano feuding into the WrestleMania Takeover show. Although one would think that if Ciampa wants to compete for the title, he would want to beat his former partner. So that there is that one logic issue I have with it, but I could still see him costing Gargano the match. Greg, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the match and the possible scenarios.
See, I agree fully with you on the Ciampa and Gargano are going to face each other at TakeOver New Orleans.
Right.
I fully agree with that. My hang-up is whether he's going to cost him the title or jump him after he's won the title to steal his move. And this one's so hard to predict because, did any of us pick Almas to beat Drew at the last predictions?
Nope.
No. So the NXT title is very hard to predict because you don't know what direction they're going, and this one could go either way. I'm going to go with Gargano to win the title and possibly celebrate with Candice, and then maybe Ciampa come out after and attack him and set that match up.
Well, I just wanted to say, I think that overall, I like the idea of Ciampa versus Gargano for the title a lot more than Almas defending the title. I'm not sold on Almas as champion, and I'm not a fan of it, so I'd like to see a title change, but I'm still going to stick with my prediction. Virtue, what do you think, though?
Yes, Aaron, Almas is going to win because I think if the whole Ciampa turn on Gargano was so long ago, and maybe they didn't know how bad Ciampa's injury was at the time, but they need that heat. They need to rebuild that heat, and I think so many people want to see Johnny with the title, and I think if Ciampa costs him the title, which that's exactly what's going to happen, that heat will be reinstored. It'll help. It'll escalate it to that upper echelon.
Yeah.
So I think Almas can drop it. He can always drop it at a house show. Remember how they did with Joe and Nakamura?
Yes.
Or Finn Balor, however. So I think that they can still get the belt to the right place. But I think at this event, I'm going with Almas keeping the title because Ciampa is going to cost Gargano, and it's going to give him a lot of heat.
You got to make it personal. On one hand, I feel like it might devalue the title if Ciampa's more obsessed with revenge and getting back at his former partner.
Heck, Ciampa should come out with Candice and kiss him at the entrance ramp. Wait, that's too much. That's too much. But you know what I mean.
Oh man, that sounds like a Vince thing to try to break up couples in WWE, trying to.
Well, they are actors. They are supposed to be actors too. But I get it.
But sometimes life imitates art, and you never know. So it's kind of a weird storyline to do. But I wouldn't rule anything out. Although I think it's too soon because Candice hasn't really been established yet.
She probably won't even be there involved in that match. But.
Yeah, I think that's a long shot. We could still see her show up, but I feel it's a long shot. All right, so that's it for the card here. Only 4 matches now. There's possibly going to be a 5th match. Usually there are 5 matches. We could see a 5th match. Now, so I'll ask you guys what you think or what you would like to see as a 5th match. Now, Lars Sullivan isn't on this card, and I would think that he would be part of the show.
I got one for you. It'll be Lars Sullivan again versus Cassius Ohno in a squash match. There's your 5th match.
There you go. Yeah, Cassius Ohno's really had a disappointing run in NXT, so he's not even on this card. And if he does get added, I don't even know if he'll win.
It sucks that Drew's injured. I mean, he didn't maybe get the reaction that he wanted at the last Takeover event, but it just sucks when somebody gets hurt like that, and you have like a limited group of talent, or it's newer people they're trying to get over again, because the main roster has all the, NXT names we've all known and love over the last couple of years. So, Greg, do you think, is NXT one more star away from having that feeling like it did a year or two ago?
The thing with NXT is, since a lot of the upper talent has been, I don't want to say poached, because it's the same company, but since a lot of the upper talent has moved up, some of the NXT guys kind of feel like left back, and they kind of have to build new stars on top of that. And that's why I think like a Johnny Gargano could lead NXT in the future, because he's such an over babyface. He's a classic babyface in the sense that you want to root for him, you want to cheer for him, very much like Daniel Bryan a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I think Gargano could be that guy, or maybe they bring somebody else in. I really don't know.
Well, do you guys think there'll be any surprise appearances or somebody showing up in the crowd? I think maybe we'll see Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet, or if they're going to call him his real name. I'd like to see Donovan Dijak, or if they're just going to call him Dijak, I'd like to see him. That guy's a freak. I hope he shows up. Maybe he'll get an impromptu match, and it'll be his debut in the 5th match.
That's a possibility. I mean, they got
versus Cassius Ohno.
Yeah, they got to get some of these guys off to a hot start, and what better way than just have them show up as a surprise and just run over somebody? That's a great way to debut people.
Oh, we know what's up with Eric Young and those guys. Do you think we'll see them at all?
Very good point, because I've been asked about Sanity. There's nothing for them. I could see Eric Young possibly in the men's Royal Rumble. If there's going to be a guy from NXT, I think he's got a good shot of anybody to show up in that match. Maybe him or Aleister Black, because Eric Young's been in NXT for a while now. So I could see Sanity perhaps breaking up, or even switching, maybe all of them switch over to the main roster as a group. I mean, that's a possibility. Greg, what do you think about that? Do you think Eric Young and Sanity should be together, or should they be separate if they debut on the main roster?
I don't really know, because Sanity has kind of cooled off in my eyes. When they first debuted, they were like this big, important faction, and even when they won the tag titles from the Authors of Pain, I wasn't really sold on them as a group. I mean, they're good in the ring, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I think they've run their course, and I kind of think the star out of that group, honestly, is Nikki Cross.
Well, there you go. And I could definitely see her. I think she's got a very strong chance of being in the Women's Rumble. Because they're going to have, I'm guessing they're going to have 4 or 5 NXT women in there, and maybe some of the legends. But we'll save that for the Royal Rumble predictions video. I think we pretty much covered all the bases for NXT. Let us know what you guys think. Leave a comment on NoDQ.com and YouTube, your predictions, your thoughts on the show. And Greg, your plugs.
Just follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation. Also, check out Wrestling Trivia Challenge. I've been the host this season, and we got some good episodes coming up for you. I guarantee you, without spoiling anything, we got some great content coming up.
And I just got an email as we were recording this. I got some great news that the most recent Wrestling Trivia Challenge has been manually reviewed, and it is suitable for all advertisers after initially being flagged as inappropriate for advertisers. But anyways, Virtue, your plugs.
You can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue, and please visit NoDQForums.com. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, lots of fun there. And, of course, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram at Aaron Rift. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. We got a lot of content coming up this week. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.